Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the 14th Pan-Asia Farmers Exchange Program. We have reached the final day of our 5-day webinar, and I'm pleased to inform you that today's sessions will be about crop improvement and seed quality. And I'm your moderator for today. I'm Thelma Luzaran Soriano. I'm the Seed Regulatory Affairs Director of CropLife Asia. I would like to welcome all the participants from Asia Pacific, countries such as Australia, China, Japan, Korea, Taiwan, Philippines, Vietnam, Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia, India, and Pakistan. So before I introduce the first presentation, let me just give you some points or some of the housekeeping rules to remember for the duration of the program. Number one, please type your question at the Q&A button anytime. Number two, questions will be answered at the end of the presentation. And if there are questions that are not accommodated during the session due to time constraints, these will be answered through our chat box or email. And e-certificates will be given only to those participants who have attended from day 1 to this day. So certificates will be sent to your registered email address. So later, there will be a $20 question at the end of the session. So stay tuned until our session ends. So let's get this webinar going. I'll be introducing the field rice. Crop improvement is one of the most urgent tasks in plant breeding to meet the ever-increasing demand for plant-derived products. A very important element to crop improvement is conservation of germplasm, a source of genetic variation which links the acquisition and utilization of plant genetic resources. Today, we'll be having a virtual tour of the GeneBank facility of the PhilRice or Philippine Rice Research Institute. PhilRice is a government corporate entity under the Department of Agriculture, which is created to help develop high-yielding and cost-reducing technologies so farmers can produce enough rice for all Filipinos. The Institute accomplishes this through research and development works in their central and branch station. So ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome Ms. Hannah May Tolentino. She is the Communication Officer of the Healthier Rice Project, Development Communication Division, the Department of Agriculture, PhilRice. So he will give us the overview of the PhilRice virtual tour. Over to you, Hannah. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Thelma. I'm Hannah, and today I'll be touring you around the facilities of Philippine Rice Research Institute. But first, let me tell you all about my colleagues who are here with me. So let me introduce them to you first. So the one who will be touring the Biotechnology Laboratory would be Ms. Ronaldine Miranda, Science Research Specialist 2 of the Crop Biotechnology Center. She is part of the research team of the Healthier Rice Project, which aims to develop healthier rice varieties, such as golden rice, to complement existing efforts to address malnutrition problems in the Philippines. Um, and also with us here is Sir Xavier Tagiat, the Senior Science Research Specialist of the Genetic Resources Division. So the Genetic Resources Division collects and conserves rice genetic resources to ensure the future generations of available seeds needed to build better rice plants in facing climate change and growing population. So without further ado, let me welcome you to the PhilRice 360 virtual tour. Let me just share my screen. Okay, can you guys see it now? Is it clear?
Yes, yes, Hannah.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so this virtual tour is actually an effort by the Community Relations Office of the Philippine Rice Research Institute. So with this tour, we hope to bring the facilities of PhilRice and make them accessible to people and let them know what the Philippine Rice Research Institute is all about. So if you click the About 360 tour, there. So it basically the virtual tour is to provide rice learning experience to various clients of PhilRice at their own convenient space and time. So basically, if I just send this link over to you, you can explore this all to yourself. Unfortunately, what we only have right now are the biotechnology laboratories and the gene bank. So hopefully soon we can develop it, and hopefully this will be available to everyone. Okay, so let me start the tour. Ate Rona, are you ready?
Si Xavier, GRD ang first, I think.
GRD po
Or,
ba ang first? Let's start with the biotech na
yes,
po muna
yes.
siguro. Okay? Ate Rona?
Okay, okay. Okay, okay. Wait, sorry. Is it okay? Naka-on na ba yung aking ano? Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you well.
So, yes. So, yeah. So, good morning, everyone. I'm Ronaldin Miranda. I am a current field test supervisor and researcher for the Healthier Rice Project, specifically for the Golden Rice part. Uh, so today I will be touring you as Hannah sharing you the virtual tour on our molecular laboratory. As we all know, in research or in breeding rice research, biotechnology is a tool where we can use to shorten the breeding process of our improvement in rice. So from our conventional or our normal breeding process, we have 10 to 12 years. So it will take us 10 to 12 years to develop a new variety. So with the use of new tools or biotechnology tools, we were able to shorten the breeding process from 10 to 12 years to 5 to 7 years. Hannah, is it okay now? Okay ba? Uh,
Yes, yes,
so
Ate,
to be
go
able
ahead.
to do this, yeah, we will be touring you to the our main laboratory here at PhilRice, where we conduct our breeding and the molecular part of the study. So the first laboratory that is showing in your screen was our molecular genetics laboratory, where we do or conduct our molecular works, where we evaluate our breeding materials. And the second laboratory, di ko makita, Hana. So here you can see some of the equipments used on molecular laboratory. We have the PCR, we have there a working laboratory technician. So here we are seeing the PCR machine, which is used to analyze the DNA that is being collected from our plant materials. So from there, the process actually we will just run through the tools, the equipments that's being used here in the molecular lab. So aside from PCR machines, we have the agarose gel. Can you see it? So later, the I think the video will show you the agarose gel and the gel doc and the electrophoresis, and those are just equipments that being used in analyzing or analyzing our materials in determining if the traits that being transferred in our breeding materials is there. So this is the tools where used to identify our plants if they have the genes that we have inserted in our interest variety. So here you can see the gel doc and the uh, agarose gel, no? So the person is loading the DNA samples in the gel doc so that we can use that to view, no, the our sample, our DNA samples. So we just run through here the basic equipments that being used in a molecular and genetic laboratory. So our next laboratory, so it's just showing you the gel doc. So here is showing how you can analyze, how you can score and determine whether your gene of interest is being inserted in the plant materials as being evaluated. So in the next video, I think we will be touring you around to the second laboratory. So it's just basically the overview of the molecular and genetic laboratory. Where is this? So this laboratory that we are being shown in the screen are part of the genetic transformation and the tissue culture laboratory. So we just have one, I think, very basic equipment, which is water bath, where it's just used to in aiding DNA extraction activity. So it was flashed in your screen, the function of it. Very This is just a very basic equipment here in tissue culture laboratory. So in this laboratory, what we do is we use tissue culture technology, where it is also a tool where we can use to shorten the breeding process. So as you know, the anthroculture, we have anthroculture mature seeds tissue culture. This is where we can use this technology to shorten the breeding process. So also in genetic transformation laboratory, although we don't have an existing activity in this lab, this is also the tool where when conventional breeding is not cannot do the breeding, say you can't see the genes of your interests in a normal or in a our gene pool, we use this technology, genetic transformation, to uh, to make it possible. I'll take the example of golden rice. As we all know, golden rice is a product of genetic transformation, where it is it is it is a kind of rice that has a
Rona, we can't hear you. Rona. Hannah. Rona was lost.
Okay, it seems like Ate Rona is lost, has lost connection. Uh, just among the
Yeah, I'm
few
back.
problems we
Sorry.
have. Okay, she's back. Welcome back, Ate Rona.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think so. Sorry, I think my connection is lost. So as I was saying, genetic transformation laboratory. This is where we can use. So what is flashed in the screen was our culture, lighted culture room where we put the culture uh, tissue cultures in our lighted room. So as you can see, you have you see the some cultures there. So part of it, I think, is part of the tissue culture laboratory, which was led by Ma'am Nenita Desamero. So they actually doing anthrax cultures there, and this is very successful because there are a lot of release varieties that are being developed using the agriculture derived materials. So here we were just showing you how our tissue culture laboratory, our culture room. So tama ba? So that's it. This is the a part of it also is the CL2 level, confinement level 2, where we are conducting genetic transformation laboratory. But as of the moment, we are not having an ongoing project with that. So only the tissue culture are have current activity on this part of the field rice work. So here is the lighted room. There is a culture growth chamber there. Uh, so okay, so that's I think that's sum up the virtual tour on our laboratory. It's very simple part. I mean, simple activity here at PhilRice, but contribute on a larger scale on breeding activity here at PhilRice. Oh, sorry. Nakataon pala yung video ko. Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay,
Hana, I
thank
think
you so much, Ate
yun
Rona.
na, no?
Yes, yes.
Oo.
Today I'll be showing the next tour about field rice. Now this is about the the gene bank of the field rice. So now we will have Sir Xavier Kagiyat. Um, Sir Xavier.
Everyone, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Okay. So, hi everyone. I'm Xavier Kagyat, a senior science research specialist at the Department of Agriculture, Philippine Rice Research Institute, or DAPL Rice. So, I'm part of the Genetic Resources Division, which collects and conserves rice genetic resources to ensure seeds are available for future generations. So, this was already mentioned by Ms. Hannah. So at present, GRD contains the Pil Rice Gene Bank, which houses around 7,000 accessions in total. These germplasms are the building blocks for the development of improved rice varieties. So, however, farmers turn to modern varieties, which allow the decline of the use of this traditional rice varieties. So there's the need to conserve this rich rice diversity. So we need this especially as donor lines for breeding programs. So Pilrice Gene Bank also collects, conserves, evaluates, and utilize in support to breeding various programs. So the Gene Bank holds around 17,000 collections now. So I would like to welcome everyone for the Pilrice Gene Bank tour for our laboratories. So in behalf of all the staff of Flores GenBank. So this is the first stop, is our DNA laboratory. So what we have this is almost similar to the one presented by Ms. Rona a while ago. This GenBank, this DNA laboratory is focusing on DNA fingerprinting and molecular characterization of our rice germplasm. So next slides. Pictures. Yeah. Go ahead, Anna, please. Around. So we have the minimum requirements for a molecular laboratory facility. So we have our PCR machines also. We also have our polyacrylamide gel electrophoresis setup. About 4 to 5 persons are working in this lab. So this is our drying facility, drying room. So if GenBank is basically, we have this slow drying method. So we don't want our seeds for conservation to get dried instantly or drastically. So we need to conserve their health or vigor. This is the seed drying room. Next slide, please. Next part. These are the harvested from the previous season. So in their net bags. We have this coding system already inside this net bags for easy tracking. And okay, so this is another part of the seed processing laboratory. So the one of the processes here is involving the seed verification. So upon harvest, we want to make sure that the seeds that were planted before the season, it's the same seeds that we harvested for the end of the season. So we need to make sure that they match the seed file that we have. The filing cabinets is like a card catalog, but it contains the seed files where we could match the harvested seeds with the seed file. So the people in blue are our experts in seed sorting. So we don't have any machines now available for seed sorting because we solely depend on human expertise in seed sorting. So basically, we separate the field and unfilled seeds and some of the debris, and also the seed verification process. The picture before this picture, the person put in the seed file the actual seed that matches the harvested seed. So the persons here, the people here know which seeds will be taken out or will be kept for storage. Slide, please. Okay. So at PhilRice, so in all of its laboratories, so we adhere with standard, international standard in terms of quality management system, in terms of cleanliness, orderliness, labeling, and calibration of equipment. So this is the post-harvest laboratory. We do the post-harvest characterization here. So it's not enough for us to characterize around 20 characters. At PhilRice GenBank, we have this international descriptors for rice, wherein we use around 58 traits. So each session or germplasm are being characterized with these 58 traits. So it's not enough that you know the color of the seeds, color of the size of the grain or the shape of the grain. We characterize every detail from vegetative, reproductive, and up to post-harvest. So this is a post-harvest laboratory. Slide, please. So this is part of the storage also. So we have just recently moved from our old building to a separate building. So now the PhilRice GenBank or the Genetic Resource Division is a separate building. So these are some of the materials that we're still moving. So again, this is part of the, I think this is the same seed drying facility. So it's complete with the humidifiers. We need to control the relative humidity and also the temperature inside the facility. So even in the laboratory processing, we have this controls in the temperature. So this is part of the DNA laboratory, I think. So we do the characterization of our materials phenotypically, also genetically. So basically, we want as much data as possible with our germplasm. So this is part of our active or medium-term storage at around 10 degrees Celsius at 15% relative humidity. We have these foil pouches for the seeds. So 50 grams per entry are being stored in this storage unit. So we have this specialized foil pouches, double laminated foil pouches that will safeguard and ensure that the seeds are intact or they are not be infested easily. So again, you can see some of our fire hydrants. They are placed very appropriately. Okay, again, this is part of the DNA laboratory. So this is a 360, so we already returned to this lab. So they do DNA fingerprinting, again, molecular characterization. So this is our part of our meeting room. It's just outside the DNA laboratory where we do some of our meetings, and also some guests can be entertained with this. So during the pandemic, so we have this, we ensure that the safety protocols are being followed. So that's why we have this virtual tour. But I think we could accommodate, if you're nearby, you could accommodate some. So we have a very good facility. It's a new building. It's one of the youngest building at Philrise. We have the first. So unfortunately we don't have any photographs of the first elevator that we have at Philrise. Okay, temporarily, this office is allotted for the Office of the Deputy Executive Director for Research. This is just temporary arrangement. These are different offices. So we have the Office of the Division Head, headed by Dr. Jonathan Yones. So he has a separate room just across the DNA laboratory. So this is located in the second floor. So we have also a data room in this floor. We have also a record-keeping floor, a record-keeping room rather. And as you can see, we have some still some materials outside. So the fire extinguisher is a mandatory requirement for the building itself. So that's the DNA laboratory floor. Next, please. This is the meeting area. That's the room with the trash bin is the harvest room. Okay. Next place. So of course we have comfort rooms, male and female. We have a pantry also, and we have a PR for PWD. So we have a lot of things going on outside. So still some things are being arranged. We have the server room. So the Philrise Genetic Resources Division in the Philrise GenBank is the first building with the most number of CCTVs. So we have around 13 CCTVs. So that's why we have this server room where you can see all the rooms are being monitored there. So it's more of a safety measures that are being into place. Okay, so we have a display table outside for visitors that are the larger groups cannot be accommodated inside. So we can explain some of the GenBank processes outside. So we have sample panicle files, sample seed files, and the likes. Okay. We have this COVID-19 guidelines. Okay. That's a mandatory now. Okay, I think that's the end of the GenBank laboratories. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the tour.
Okay. Okay, so thank you. Okay, so thank you, Hannah, Ronaline, and Xavier. That was an excellent visiting experience in your Philrise biotech laboratory, wherein we can see all those machines to be used in developing golden rice, and also visiting the field rice gene bank, which houses the 7,000 rice accessions and where they maintain the high quality seeds. It's good that the technology allowed us to have this virtual tour despite the situation today. So this time, let's have our Q&A session. And for everyone who wants to ask a question or send their comment regarding this topic, kindly type in your question in the Q&A button, please. So, can I have a question? There is one question. We know that field rice is leading the development of golden rice as a potential new food-based approach to improve vitamin A in the Philippines in partnership with IRI. So what are the main activities of field rice in this GR project? Because you are collaborated with IRI. May we ask
Yes,
Rona?
ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So currently, ma'am, we just finished submitting. We just finished submitting the commercial propagation application to DABPI, and it's now undergoing a process of review. So we're just waiting for their feedback. And while waiting for that, we are also conducting some breeding and transferring of the golden rice trait to other popular varieties that is identified from those areas identified with high incidence of vitamin A deficiency or malnutrition. So currently, we are also producing a grain production for the selected PSB RC82 golden rice trait, and planning to have the initial grain quality and sensory evaluation of that materials for the taste test. So maybe it will be after the harvest this year, we will be conducting that on the following year, ma'am. So currently we are on breeding process, transferring to different popular varieties. Also, we are adding bacterial leaf blight and tungro resistance to those lines that are being added by golden rice trait. So we have two ongoing projects: the integration of this trait to different popular variety, high yielding varieties, and the 3-in-1 project under the funded by the DA Biotech PIU, that we are combining the three traits, the golden rice, and tungro and BLB resistance.
Okay.
So
So
yun po yung, that's the activity or other study in under Golden Rice Project.
So thank you, Rona, for that inspiring answer. The next question came from Dr. Nipon Ayum Supasit. Apart from Golden Rice Project, do you have other project work on rice?
Also, aside from golden rice, we have the high iron zinc rice. That is, at this stage, we just finished the selection of event that will be forwarded into another contained test. So, and later on, we also have plans on combining these three traits. So aside from golden rice, we have the high iron zinc rice.
Okay, so thank you, Rona, again. So in the interest of time, moving on with our program, the second speaker is Dr. Tony Alfonso. He will present a quick overview on the importance of seed quality. Doc Tony Alfonso is the Regulatory and Stewardship Manager of Corteva. He is also responsible primarily for the registration of biotech corn and crop protection products, regulatory compliance, and product stewardship. And also, he is the chairman of the CropLife Philippine Seeds and Biotech Committee. So, Dr. Tony,
Thank you so
the
much,
floor
Ate
is
Thelma.
yours. Thank you.
Yeah, can you see my screen and can you hear me all right? Can you hear me all right? And
Yes,
can you see
sir.
my
Yes.
screen? Thank you. So again, thank you very much, Ate Thelma, for
Yes,
the
sir.
kind introduction. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I would like to thank CropLife Asia, CropLife Philippines, the BCP, and Circa BIC for making Corteva part of Farmers Exchange 2020. In the past, we have been hosting participants in our seed processing plant here in Tarlac City. And we're doing it again this time, although virtually due to the pandemic situation. Next, moving to my next screen. Did it freeze? Yeah, so just very briefly about Corteva. Corteva AgriScience, as you may know, is a pure play agriculture company that brings together the strengths of its legacy companies, DuPont Pioneer, DuPont Crop Protection, and Dow AgroSciences. Our purpose is to enrich the lives of those who produce and those who consume, ensuring progress for generations to come. We are guided by these 6 core values: enrich lives, stand tall, be curious, build together, be upstanding, and live safely. In this presentation, I will discuss first the importance of high quality seeds, how a stable seed supply is ensured, and then I will give you an overview of the Corteva seed processing facility here in Tarlac. That will be followed by a 16-minute video on the various steps of seed production from the field to the seed processing plant until we have the finished goods that are ready for distribution and for planting by the farmers. Okay, so the importance of high quality seeds cannot be overemphasized. Farmers who are planting, selecting the right variety and of the right quality are getting off on the right foot, so to speak, as they start the season, because the use of quality seeds alone could increase productivity by 15 to 20, and that's based on some estimates. On the other hand, the use of low quality seeds can dramatically reduce the yield. There are informal and formal seed systems. And in terms of the formal seed system, having one that is strong, systematic, and vibrant is crucial because that will ensure the availability of high quality seeds. And in fact, it has been shown that the existence of a strong formal seed system coexist in parallel with agricultural growth and productivity. So that highlights the importance of having a strong and vibrant seed industry. And when we speak of high quality seeds, I have here 8 parameters that are commonly mentioned. I will not go into details, but you are familiar with high genetic purity, physical purity, and so on. But just to emphasize that high quality seeds help ensure that the farmer will meet the desired population of healthy plants, healthy and uniform, that will give him high yield, high income, that will improve his living condition, and also that will help address issues on food security. Also, as the development of new technologies comes along, as we have new products and like GM crops, the high quality standards also adjust to that. For example, as you've heard over the past several days, we now have products that have insect resistance and herbicide tolerance that effectively control target pests and also weeds. And when we speak of a strong and vibrant seed production program, we need to be very serious about it. we need to invest in people, in facilities, and in our processes, because such seed production program would entail a lot of things like producing a sufficient quantity of seeds, going through a certification process, quality assurance, processing, storage, seed protection, and also quality enhancement. Trying to move my slide. Okay, so I've mentioned about a strong and robust, vibrant seed industry. And one of the things that such industry should address is to be able to provide a stable supply of consistently high quality of seeds. How do we ensure that? So here at Corteva, for example, we do that by having an accurate demand signal capture, so forecasting, and diligent supply planning. And that will be followed by efficient field and plant operations processes guided by our internal signature systems framework. We implement strict internal quality control standards and procedures. We maintain a cadre of technically proficient people, both in the field and also in the plant, and also in other logistics. We have a collection of best parent seed germplasm and world-class R&D signature process. And as I mentioned, we invest in world-class seed processing facilities and equipment. So those are just some of the necessities in order to have a stable supply of consistently high quality seeds. I mentioned about GM crops. I'd like to spend a few minutes regarding GM crops and seed quality. The GM seeds undergo additional testing following government requirements. For example, here in the Philippines, we are planting GM. We are importing also GM. For direct use, we have some existing government regulatory standards, and we have to follow them. We have to comply with these issuances. And even the industry itself has its own standard that is usually higher than what is required by the government. So we comply with some, post-approval requirements. One of those requirements is the biosafety approval of any GM crop to be imported into the country or to be planted locally. So the biosafety permit has to be issued by the Bureau of Plant Industry. And another requirement is the registration of GM products containing insecticidal properties under the category of PIP, or Plant Incorporated Protectant, and that is under the Fertilizer and Pesticide Authority. In terms of standards, we need to be very careful, very serious about purity of GM traits. As an example, and to illustrate, imagine a herbicide-tolerant batch of seeds that has lower than standard purity, and imagine the reaction of the farmer if he sprays the field with herbicide and a big number of plants are affected. They die because they are not susceptible. They are susceptible, they are not tolerant, and that's one possible impact of having a low purity GM trait. Here in the Philippines, there are requirements like adding specific language on the seed bag or on the seed label. For example, not planting in areas where in the sloping areas, higher than certain degree. And also there are some local government units in the Philippines that has active banning of planting of GM crops, and so we avoid selling our products in those areas. And even that is captured on the seed label. We have compliance and stewardship post-approval requirements, for example, insect resistance management, or IRM. And under IRM, we have several activities like refuge deployment, or adding refuge plants into your seed bag. We have resistance monitoring both in the field, so we have sentinel sites, and also using our field collected insects, and we monitor if there's any indication of development of resistance to these target insects. And also we conduct farmer training and survey for their compliance on their knowledge, attitude, and practices related to IRM. And we also have weed resistance management. So these two are part of stewardship activities. And speaking of stewardship, this is about responsible management of products. Not implementing stewardship activities would compromise the technology, and we would lose the usefulness of the technology. So practically that would mean not doing enough the right things so that the insects, the target insects, become resistant to the technology or to the BT, and that's something that we would not want to happen, at least not very soon. That would eventually happen, but we want to prolong that from happening. And just to mention, there are illegal seedlots currently being sold in the Philippines through direct selling to farmers or through social media that don't implement stewardship. They don't have refuge seeds along with the product. And even the after-sales support are not available. So that's a reality that's happening here, and that's something that we would want to address with the government. Okay, so very briefly about the seed plant that we have. This is strategically located at Visita Industrial Park here in Tarlac City. Operations started in 2010, and it has more than 300 on-site workers, peaking at 500 during the peak seasons. And these workers come from neighboring towns. We produce seeds in Luzon area mainly in partnership with approximately 5,000 corn farmers. We produce both hybrid and rice seeds. We have an on-site seed testing laboratory that is accredited by ISTA. We have 115 kilowatts solar power installed to reduce carbon footprint. And we operate following the Corteva Global Quality Management Systems. And I'm very proud to tell you that we have so far 0 lost work case since day one of the construction. And that means a recorded 6.5 million saved man hours. So to sum up about the facility, we have the mechanized post-harvest facility. We have our temperature-controlled seed storage, seed cleaning and packaging, and our in-house seed testing facility. Next, I will show you the video showing seed production from the field to the plant and until they become finished goods ready for use by the farmers. I'm trying to find the play button. Okay.
A satisfied farmer will always be a loyal farmer. Pioneer corn farmers, always satisfied with the quality of our corn seed products, have all consistently remained loyal to us over planting seasons and years. Each Pioneer corn seed goes through a very intricate process to make sure that quality and customer satisfaction are ingrained. Customer loyalty is never shortchanged. And this is how we do it.
This is how we do it.
Land preparation. The process starts with land preparation. Land preparation should be done as soon as the soil is at its right moisture, not too dry and not too wet. For light soil, 2-disc harrowing at a desired depth of 6 to 8 inches is the minimum requirement to achieve pulverized soil. If needed, conduct 3rd harrowing. Finally, level the field to ensure uniformity of crop stand and soil moisture distribution. Furrow setting. Furrow should be set with a prescribed distance of 60 centimeters between rows. Distribution and infield canals should also be constructed to facilitate the irrigation of standing crop. To avoid confusion during planting, mark male rows by staking the two ends of the row. Parent seeds preparation. Compute parent seed requirement with allowance to ensure sufficiency of seeds for planting. The seeds are then treated based on the recommended requirement. Irrigation. Irrigation before planting. If soil is too dry, irrigate field to achieve enough and uniform soil moisture. This will ensure uniform seed emergence. Irrigation for standing crop. Identify if there is a need for irrigation using the feel method. To do this, get a soil sample and compact it by hand. If it breaks when the hand is opened, prepare for furrow irrigation. Ensure uniformity of irrigation to promote uniformity of plant growth. The water tender has to check the end of the furrows from time to time to avoid under or over irrigation. Basal fertilization. Basal fertilization should be conducted right before planting. If different fertilizer grades will be used, pre-mix these before application. Apply fertilizer along the rows evenly. Planting. To ensure uniformity of distance along the rows, use rolling or string markers. Using a jabber at a depth of 1.5 to 2 inches, plant seeds along the designated rows. Make sure that only one seed is placed per hill at the sloping side of the furrow. Plant only one side of the hill for uniform distance of plants between rows. Pre-emergent herbicide application. Apply pre-emergent herbicide after planting when moisture is enough and even. This will ensure uniform coating of the herbicide in the field and its efficacy. Apply evenly over the entire field. Install a warning sign and re-entry interval after spraying. Insecticide application. Apply insecticide early in the morning when needed based on the incidence of pests and diseases. Spray evenly on leaves or other affected parts. Install a warning sign and re-entry interval after spraying. Post-emergent herbicide application. Apply herbicide when the weeds start to grow around 2 inches in height. Apply evenly along each row to ensure full coverage over the field. Use shields to protect parents without the Roundup Ready trait. Side dressing. Side dressing should be conducted as scheduled. Place fertilizer approximately 2 to 3 inches from the base of the plant. If different fertilizer grades will be used, pre-mix these before application. Hilling up. Hilling up should be done between rows to aerate soil 22 to 25 days after planting. Hilling up is mostly done just after side dressing the remaining recommended amount of nitrogen. Roguing. Roguing must be conducted following the schedule stated in the batch plan, which are as follows. Roguing 1 at 10 days after planting. Remove multiple seedlings, leaving only the healthiest. Rogue all the volunteers coming from the leftover ears from previous corn crop. Roguing 2 at 25 days after planting. Remove off-types along both male and female rows. Roguing 3 at 40 days after planting. Remove off-types and runts along male and female rows. Roguing 4 at 47 days after planting. Remove all remaining off-types and runts prior to detasseling. Roguing should be done one row at a time. Detasseling. Conduct detasseling using the leaf pull method based on the data collected from the field. Leaf pull plants when tassels are covered with only 2 to 3 leaves based on the following standards. At 0% silking, pull at least 85% of tassels at first pass. At less than or equal to 3% silking, pull at least 95% of tassels. At less than or equal to 5% silking, pull at least 99.5% of the tassels. Harvesting. Harvest is done by opening the husk and removing the ear. Harvested ears are then collected and placed in net sacks hanging from the harvester's waists. The harvested plants are bent down by stepping on its base. When the net sack is full, it is poured into another net sack. It should then be tied and lined up along the male rows for ease in inspection of leftovers. The filled net sacks are piled by the grower and hauled to a designated weighing area. Field weighing. Key information in the Harvest Receiving Report, or HRR, should be noted before weighing starts. Piled net sacks are weighed by batches of 10. Each reading is recorded in the HRR. Loading and delivery of harvest. Prior to loading, make sure that the truck is clean and free from any other corn seeds or grains. When loading the harvest, untie the net sacks and unload the ears. Load up to the height of the side of the truck. Ensure that all sides of the truck are properly secured and harvest is covered with net or tarpaulin before departure. Receiving. Upon arrival of the truck, the harvest will be inspected and logged by the security personnel on duty and will be verified by the receiving personnel for accuracy of information. Once verified, the truck is weighed and moved to truck tilter for unloading. The truck will be positioned at the tilter to unload corn on the vibratory conveyor. Dumped corn ears are conveyed towards the sorting building to remove undesirable ears, husks, and other plant materials. Good ears are sampled to determine moisture content for proper drying management, while the bulk of sorted corn ears are transported towards dryer bins for drying. Information on corn ears loaded in dryer bins are once again verified and encoded in the seed drying computer program. Corn ears are dried using a mechanical dryer, which can be a single-pass or two-pass dryer. The mechanical dryer uses fuels like cobs, diesel, and LPG to provide hot air and reduce moisture. Temperature inside the dryer is maintained by the operators with the help of predictions and indications generated by the computer program to sustain the viability of seeds. Seed drying lasts from 4 to 5 days or until the desired moisture is achieved. Shelling. After drying, corn ears are shelled. This is where the seeds are separated from the cobs. Through loadout windows, dried corn ears are released and conveyed to the shelling building. Shelled seeds are cleaned further using a fine cleaner separating small cobs and other undesirable materials. After the cleaner, insecticide for pest protection is applied on seeds, while cobs and other byproducts of shelling are transported to the cob bin for truck loading. Corn byproducts are sold to a third party as raw materials for fertilizer or feed additives. An inline sampler takes sample from clean seeds for quality testing. Bulks of cleaned seeds are transported to the warehouse for unloading in a 1.2 metric ton jumbo bag or 1.4 metric ton metal box for storage. To maintain viability, seeds are stored in a temperature and humidity controlled warehouse until the time when these will be moved to the next processing step. Quality assurance. Samples taken during processing are submitted to the laboratory for quality testing. Samples undergo purity tests to determine the amount of impurities and damaged seeds present. The results of these tests are taken into account to identify the need for conditioning or direct packaging. Kernel count, or number of seeds per kilo, is also taken to determine the approximate weight per bag in relation to the product packaging requirements. Conditioning. Seed lots having high amounts of undesirable lighter materials are passed through gravity. To effectively remove these, seed lots are sized first before the gravity separation. Gravity clean seeds are blended to return to the original composition of the lot. Meanwhile, seed lots with high impurities in black or light colored diseases are passed through the color sorter. Packaging. After the seeds pass all quality standards, the seeds are now ready for packaging. These are then scheduled for packaging and moved out from the warehouses for processing. Before the packaging process, the seeds are treated with chemicals for protection and coloring agent as precaution that the seeds are not for consumption. Trained employees mix chemicals to form the slurry needed for seeds protection. In the seed treatment process, scheduled seeds for bagging are loaded in a bin for the treating preparation. Batch or continuous type treating equipment is used for treating to ensure the fairness of chemical application per corn kernel. Treated seeds are dispensed by an electronically controlled scale. Bags loaded with seeds run through a conveyor passing heat sealers to prevent seeds from absorbing moisture. A planting guide is also placed inside each bag, and a tag is stitched outside the bag for further information. Bags are closed through mechanical sewers and conveyed for palletizing. As each bag is conveyed, weight per bag is verified by an inline scale that rejects bags deviating from the desired weight. Using photo eyes and sensors along the conveyors, bags are palletized by a robot configured in multiple patterns. The robot continuously piles bags coming from the packing line, while an automated fork is used to feed pallets for the robot's use. Once the number of bags per pallet is completed, palletized bags are conveyed through an automated wrapping machine to provide greater stability of bags in the pallet during warehousing or delivery. Distribution. Approved delivery requests for Pioneer's authorized outlets are coursed through logistics. Identified seed lots from packaging for delivery are picked up and loaded in designated truckers for hauling to an authorized outlet that will be purchased and planted by another satisfied Pioneer corn farmer. From the field to the plant, let us again see the different steps involved in hybrid corn seed production.
Okay, so thank you
So,
very much. I hope you enjoyed the video as I did. Uh, so in the video, you saw the different steps necessary to produce high quality seeds. So seed production is indeed, costly. It entails a lot of care, and you need to pay to details. It's tedious. It needs to be systematic. So that explains why the cost is higher than open pollinated varieties, for example. So I'd like to end there and turn you over back to Ate Telma.
so thanks, Doc Tony, for that insightful for your presentation. And you also highlighted the seed quality considerations for GM crops in including the compliance with stewardship and post-harvest monitoring conditions for GM crops. So it's very good. It's very helpful. And also, thank you also for the inspirational video, because we have learned different processes that harvested seeds undergo before they are marketed to farmers. So now we go to the question and answer portion. Uh, but I'd like to remind everyone to type in their question in the Q&A button at the bottom, located at the bottom of your screen. So the first question came from Sunny. Do you have local farmer seed producers, Dr. Tony?
For corn, hello, yeah, for corn, our seeds are 100% locally produced, unless under special circumstances that we need to import, but it's almost 100% locally produced. For rice, however, we have some constraints in producing uh, hybrid rice locally, and so we still rely on imported hybrid rice seeds from our partners outside the country.
Thank you, Dr. And we have also second question from, again, Dr. Nipon Ayum Supasit. How can you control GM seed production in the farmer's field?
Yeah, first you need to be very careful with your operations to ensure purity of your GM. And we have a system in place for doing that from the time of preparing the seeds, putting them on the ground. In the field, it was shown the rogging or removal of off-type plants and detasseling the female plant, for example, and some spatial and temporal isolation measures to make sure that there's no outcrossing, and even during harvesting, making sure that you only harvest from the designated plots in transporting them to the seed plant, in processing. So in all these steps, we have to do necessary measures to ensure a purity, high level, acceptable purity of our GM seeds. And it's important that we maintain uh, a good number of well-trained staff to do that every season. Thank you. Ate Telma, you're on mute.
Another question. You mentioned that one of the components of seed quality is purity. There could be physical and genetic purity. What do you think could be the best and easy attributes to use for seed quality? Is it genetic or physical?
Both of these are very important. Uh, Genetic purity refers to the true to typeness. The variety should be true to type to what it's supposed to be. So variety A should be variety A, and if there's any variety B added to that seedlet, it should be within a certain standard. So genetic purity I mentioned about, so both genetic and physical purity are being addressed through the measures that I enumerated in the earlier question. So both of these are important. But in terms of physical purity, it will impact the quality, but as long as the seeds are healthy and viable, it should be okay to have, some stubbles or a piece of something. It will not give a good impression to the farmer, but it will not have big impact. But in terms of genetic quality, for example, if you are dealing with herbicide tolerant seedlot that has been mixed with non-tolerant seeds, and then you have problem in the seed, and the farmer will come back to you reporting about the plants that have been affected by the herbicide. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Doc Tony, for that insightful answer. So now we still have a lot of questions in the chat box or in the Q&A tab, but due to time constraints, we will answer your questions via email. So now let me give you a quick summary of how this 5-day seminar went. On the first day, we were taught on how the GMOs are made and what are the products in the pipeline, the golden rice experience, and how golden rice is made. And also, we were also taught on the overview of on the new plant breeding innovations. On the second day, we learned appropriate safety guidelines and regulation of genetically modified organisms with emphasis on environmental risk assessment and food safety assessment. And also on the same day, we were able to know the experience of BT corn commercialization in the Philippines, which is almost 17 years of planting, as well as the experience of growing GM canola in Australia. On the third day, we learned about science communication. How do we inform and educate the public about biotechnology? And so scientists from China and India and Vietnam and farmer leader in India and also biotech coordinator in Philippines share their experiences on how to communicate agricultural biotechnology. On the fourth day, we have heard the experiences or stories of farmers in commercial growing of biotech crops like canola in West Australia, BT corn in Philippines, sugar cane in Indonesia, and BT cotton in Pakistan. And today, we know more about the importance of high seed quality and its benefits to the farmers. We have known that the seed quality is considered as an important factor for increasing yield, and its use helps greatly in higher production per unit area and attain food security of the country. I could say that this week has been a learning experience for every one of us. So now for the last time, may we ask a minute or two of your time to answer this evaluation poll? Our director, Bowie, technical director Bowie, will show us the poll in the screen. And you just have to click on your feedback for this session. Please provide your honest feedback or comment. The first question is on the importance of gene bank into crop improvement and virtual tour to gene bank in field rice. If you are extremely satisfied, satisfied, average, dissatisfied, and extremely dissatisfied. Okay? And the second question is importance of seed quality and virtual tour of seed processing plant. This is in Corteva seed processing plant. If you are extremely satisfied, please put on your answer as satisfied, average, dissatisfied, and extremely satisfied. Please provide your honest answer. And then the third question is, how do you find this session? Are you extremely satisfied also? Satisfied, dissatisfied, or extremely dissatisfied? So, okay, please provide your honest feedback. Okay. I think so. I think it's okay. So, thank you everyone for your feedback. We will be using this to improve better our future webinars. And now, of course, our program will not be complete without the very handsome Executive Director of CropLife Philippines message, who will the Executive Director Edelberto de Luna or Ed de Luna. Sir, over to you.
Thank you very much, Telma. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening to everyone. The past 5 days, we have gone through extensive discussions on crop biotechnology, covering such topics as status and extent of biotech crop adoption, regulatory processes, communicating biotechnology, and farmers' testimonies on the benefits of planting GM crops to their livelihood, productivity, and income. No doubt, modern biotechnology, including that of seeds, is a powerful tool in addressing host of concerns. And if I may have to reiterate or emphasize, these are climate change, nutrition and hunger, increased productivity and income, poverty alleviation, and food security and sustainability. Across countries, we encourage those who participated in this webinar to reach out to the widest stakeholders possible and convey the message on how biotech can benefit mankind and this environment. For it is only by providing science-based information on the value of biotech that we can achieve in magnitude its adoption. It may not be the cure-all to the challenges besetting the agricultural sector worldwide, but surely it will immensely contribute and give greater impact. Before I conclude, I would like to congratulate the organizers, Biotech Coalition of the Philippines, CropLife Asia, and CropLife Philippines, for using this online platform in pursuing the 14th Pan-Asia Farmer Exchange Program. Likewise, I would like to thank and congratulate the participants from the Philippines, Vietnam, Indonesia, Australia, China, Japan, Korea, Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, India, and Pakistan. And for those who have completed the 5 sessions, they will receive their corresponding certificates as shown in the screen. Bo, can you show the certificate that the participants will receive? Duly signed by Sonny Tababa, the Director for Plant Biotechnology Affairs, CropLife Asia. Yours truly as Executive Director of CropLife Philippines, and Kuya Abe Abraham Manalo, the Executive Secretary of the Biotech Coalition of the Philippines. It will be sent to your respective email addresses. To the resource persons and the speakers from day 1 to 5. I can no longer enumerate you one by one. Thanks for sharing your expertise on the topics, on your respective topics, and in behalf of BCP, CropLife Asia, and CropLife Philippines, please accept our sincerest thanks and gratitude. Finally, we wish everyone to continue to be safe during this time of pandemic while pursuing and sustaining our advocacies and initiatives for the obvious reasons of feeding the world and improving the quality of life of the agriculture stakeholders, especially the farmers who are our modern heroes. Once again, thank you very much. Good day, everyone.
Thank you very much, Sir Ed, for that inspiring message. Indeed, CropLife is truly thankful to co-organize this event yearly with CropLife Philippines and the Biotechnology Coalition of the Philippines. Now we move on to the most exciting part of the program, or the most awaited part. And for the last time, we are giving away the $20 shopping vouchers. The mechanics are simple. We will show one question and you have to type the answer in the chat box on your screen. The first 3 persons to get the correct answer wins. Are you ready? Is everyone ready? Okay, let's do a countdown. Now, the technical director, Bowie, will show the question. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, seed quality is a key factor in seed production. The seed is tested by evaluating the planting value of seed. What parameter is not measured to determine the seed quality? Is it purity, germination, moisture content, dormancy, none of the above, or all of the above? Okay. Oh. Okay, we have the winners. The first, we have the winner. The answer is dormancy, and the first winner is Lorraine Klein. Lorraine Klein. Number 2 is Gay. Who's this one? Hindi ko mabasa, no? Who's the? We have already winners, but I can't read. The one is Chinese, in Chinese. So we have the winner. So, okay. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our speakers, moderators, Erie, Phil Rice, CropLife country teams, and CropLife member companies for all your continued support. And thank you, participants, for your time and active participation in our program. We hope that you learned and enjoyed our Simple Day webinar. Congratulations to our winners. Once again, I am your moderator for today, Thelma Soriano of CropLife Asia. Thank you very much. But for the panelists, please do not leave yet. Let's have a quick photo off, and before we finally end the program. So kindly turn on your camera. Thank you all for attending this 14th Pan Asia Farmers Exchange programs. God bless you all. Okay.
Thank you.
Turn on your camera?
Turn on your camera, please.
Your camera, please. Gab, Numero. Where are the others? Doc Gab Romero. Okay. Okay na, Tita Beth?
Done.
Okay.
Dan.
So thank you very
Congratulations,
much,
everyone.
Tapos na!
everyone.
Okay na.